This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the MicroCap Rodeo 2019 in Austin, Texas. With me right now is Chuck Sammet from CYPHYX. It's a private company. Chuck, welcome to SNN.Live.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So, for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. CYPHYX is a company. It's a cybersecurity company, and we intend to be an offensive cybersecurity company instead of a defensive. Rather than telling you who breached you and what they were able to get, we're going to stop the breach before it happens.
Okay. So let's get a history of the company. When did the company start, and how did you develop it to where it's currently at today?
Well, the company began as a different product, but we had a security product that was so strong that the more we spoke about it, the more people wanted to find a product that had that capability. So our patented DARE, which is dynamic and random encryption, is basically what began as that other product, and then we moved it into creating a solution that allows us to prevent cybersecurity hacks and breaches of your databases or other information such as your emails, files, etc.
Okay, so I've done a number of interviews with different companies over the years that are trying to tackle all the problems we know about in cybersecurity. So what would you say makes CYPHYX different and unique than some of your peers out there?
Well, instead of taking the same standard approach that all the companies take when it comes to protecting data, we've adopted a more aggressive approach toward halting the hack before it can occur. And so consequently, we're using our technology to basically thwart the hack at the beginning by diversifying where the data is stored, diversifying how the protection is implemented. We still use NIST, or National Institutes of Technology, Standards and Technology. We use their approved list of encryption algorithms, but we apply them in a way that is not the common method that's used by other products.
On that point of other products, I mean, I'm assuming you're not the first to be on the offensive when it comes to cybersecurity and protection. So what does that competitive landscape look like, and how is what you guys are doing different than maybe some of them?
Well, in the beginning, there were a lot of products that tried to be more aggressive, particularly in trying to detect viruses and malware. The only issue, though, is they have backed away from that, and now they're trying to take the approach that you can't stop the hack, that the hacks are going to occur, the breaches are going to occur, and so what they're trying to do is make it something that they can tell you how, as soon as the breach occurs, how bad it is and who did it. And that's what they're doing instead now, all your products. Most of them have relegated the offensive side of their business to just being antivirus products that simply can detect when the breaches occur, but don't necessarily thwart them right away.
And Chuck, I also have to ask, in cybersecurity, it's really important to have a patented IP portfolio that protects the technology that you're looking to develop. So does CYPHYX have a patent portfolio that's protecting what you guys are developing?
Yes, we do. We have one patent awarded for the dynamic and random encryption product. Actually, it's technology that's used in a number of our products, as well as 2 additional pending patents that will allow us to expand the product, and not just that technology, but these are additional technologies that will allow us to expand the product line and to move into other areas, including application execution.
And what's your background? I mean, how'd you come into all this?
Well, I began in cybersecurity 30 years ago, back when there was no cybersecurity. It was not known as that. This was back when there were private networks, and banks and the financial industry had their own networks, so you didn't have these issues. Now that you're into a more public networking scenario, which is what the internet is, you have a situation where you have cybersecurity, where you have to protect things, because what you're doing is everything you're doing, all of the personal information, all of the sensitive information, financial and so forth, is transported over an internet that is public, and so anyone can see it. So that's why there's a need or a demand for security in the messaging as well as in the storage of the data.
So then also what I want to know is, where's the company at then currently in your development, and then from what you can tell us, some of the growth drivers and catalysts for the business moving forward?
Well, where we are currently is we're at pre-revenue. However, where we're at is we do have 2 pilots in the works with 2 agencies with a given state. I'm not at liberty to speak. Those pilots, once successful, which they will be, will then lead to furthering our implementation throughout that entire state and then into other states. The product itself is at the early stage. We're at the version 1 stage. And so the product is capable and fully functional. It just doesn't have necessarily all the bells and whistles that we'd like to add to it, mainly because we're trying to just get the base done and do it right. so that the product is fully secure and fully functional, but doesn't necessarily have all of the accoutrements that you would expect from a fully sophisticated and polished product.
And then moving forward, what are some of the growth drivers and catalysts once pilot tests out? Hopefully, where do we go from there?
Well, the drivers in this case are very strong. There is a very high demand for a product that can functionally stop the hacks. There are a lot of people out there who are, at this point, buying insurance instead of trying to stop the hack so that they can simply protect themselves from the losses they expect to incur. If someone has a product, though, that solves that problem and stops those hacks, then that expense no longer is a necessity. It becomes something you could add on. And so consequently, where the drivers for us are simple, we have to prove out the product, we have to have the product certified or validated actually by the NIST, and then once we have implemented it and begun to expand into the marketplace, it should drive itself mainly because of the fact of the demand that's out there that's unmet.
And where can our audience go and find more information about CYPHYX?
They can go to CYPHYX.com, that's CYPHYX.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the MicroCap Rodeo 2019 in Austin, Texas. With me again has been Chuck Sammet from CYPHYX. It's a private company. Chuck, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.